Hey there brickies, Brickrod's back, bringing you guys another video, and today, happy birthday Game Boy. The Game Boy turns 30 today. So on July 31st, 1989, Nintendo changed gaming once again, this time in the handheld market. It had the power of an NES and the library of it too. Even at launch with Super Mario Land, it had amazing titles, and who could forget Tetris? I think the reason Nintendo packaged it in with Tetris, and this is just my theory, I could be wrong about this, but they knew Super Mario Land would sell at 20 bucks. So they decided to package in with Tetris, maybe a game nobody would buy, or maybe it could have been bought, but I don't think they expected the success that Tetris had. And it was crazy because it was just a packing game, but it spawned sequels, and they're still being made today. I know we had Tetris 2, Tetris Blast, so I think they knew it was a good game, but they didn't expect what came of Tetris. It has a big impact on the Game Boy, and it's a great game that I'm glad everybody got to enjoy because it was packed in with the Game Boy at launch. And I know the graphics aren't great by all means. I know they're green, but the gameplay just outweighed the graphics. I know later on we had the Game Gear, which was double the power. It even had a backlit LCD, and then you had the Atari Lynx as well. But nothing could compare to the Game Boy, especially all the franchises that it launched, such as Kirby, it launched Pokemon, it had stellar game franchises that were already established, such as Mario, Castlevania. They had 5 Mega Man games. Just the list goes on and on. And even though it was in its twilight years, the Game Boy Color came out, and most of the games could still be played on the original Game Boy. As long as it was a black cartridge, you could still play it on your original Game Boy. Like Zelda DX, this is a black cartridge, but it still works on your original Game Boy. So I just think that's something that has never been seen again. I know there still is backward compatibility, and that's what I love about Nintendo and Xbox, that they always have their backwards compatibility. But it's just crazy to know that pretty much a large majority of Game Boy Color games actually work on the original Game Boy. And that was crazy because at the time of the Game Boy Color launch, the Game Boy was 9 years old already. It speaks for itself how incredible the Game Boy is, and I still play the Game Boy every day. That's how good the games are. Here is Kirby's Dream Land, and this is just to show you what a Game Boy box would have looked like. And they are cardboard, so unfortunately nowadays most of them, if all of them, have been either crushed, damaged, or even thrown away. So it's really cool to have these in my collection, and especially anybody's collection. It just shows what the games used to look like. So it's just really nice to see this. Even open it up for you guys. You got all these manuals. I know nowadays you don't even get manuals, but you got the game manual, you got posters in them, and then the cartridge was even in a case, so that was really nice. Forward to the year 1996, the Game Boy was 7 years old already at the time, and it was getting pretty outdated, so they released the Game Boy Pocket. The Game Boy Pocket featured a black and white screen, so gone was the green screen. So this is the Game Boy Pocket right here. Came out in 1996. This is actually the second model. It has the LCD light that indicates how much power your Game Boy has. When it's about to die, it dims and the speaker starts to get reduced and the sound starts getting off. So that was released in 1996. This one actually in 97 with the LCD light. And right here I actually have the original model. This was the launch model. This is the black one. And I actually found this at a picnic table, and I looked for the owner and nobody was around, so I decided to bring it home, and I play this almost every day now. And I found this quite a while ago now. It actually came with Pokemon Blue, so that was really nice because I didn't have Pokemon Blue. So it's a really nice console. This pocket right here is actually sealed. It's the red one, so I'm not gonna ever open it. And then later on, the successor to the Game Boy was the Game Boy Color. And the reason I have this in this video is because I kind of consider it along the same line of Game Boys, because it was still 8-bit. It introduced color, but most of the games still worked on the original Game Boy. However, if you see clear cartridges like this one, this is Dragon Warrior 3, this will only work on a Game Boy Color. It does read in a Game Boy Pocket though, but it will say that it is made and designed for a Game Boy Color console. And also you can see that it doesn't have that notch, because in the original Game Boy, the slide actually went into the cartridge. So that is another indicator that it's only playable on a Game Boy Color. So I just thought I'd clarify what that notch meant. So it has this little notch right here, and that was so your game could slide into your original Game Boy. And when you turn it on, this little latch came out and it would clear because of that little notch right there. Game Boy. This is actually the launch Game Boy console. This is actually a hand-me-down that I received from my dad, so this is really cool to have in my collection. So it came with the Tetris game, headphones, the link cable, and 4 AA batteries to power your console. But I just like the way this console looks. Kind of reminds me of Tron with the lighting effect going on. So it's a really nice box. The side showed the launch titles. It shows Super Mario Land right there. Shows baseball, and it shows tennis. There was actually 5 launch titles, which included Super Mario Land, Alleyway, baseball, tennis, and Tetris, which was the packed-in game. So here's just a look at the back of the box, showing everything that you get inside of it. So just really cool box art, and it also showed some accessories that were being offered with the carrying case and the rechargeable battery pack, which actually lasted quite a while. I think it lasted about 10 hours. So the Game Boy itself had a long battery life. It had about 15 hours of battery life, which is really good. Go ahead and open up this Game Boy and do a little unboxing. I do have the headphones that it came with, but unfortunately I couldn't find them at the moment, but I do have them. So it came with this little brochure about the Nintendo Power. Came with this nice little poster, and it just showed the accessories you can get at launch, and 4 of the 5 launch titles. It shows all of them except for Tetris, and it tells you what the game is in a little summary. So really cool poster. Of course, it came with Tetris, probably the most important Game Boy game to ever come out. So really nice game right there. Came with the link cable right here, so you can play head-to-head. Especially used in Pokemon. I believe in Tetris as well though. I even have 2 of the 4 original batteries that came with it every day. And the headphones would have been in here, but I have them. I didn't lose them. I just don't know where they are, so I kind of lost them, but I'll find them. So here's the Game Boy itself right here. And I do play this every now and again, but it does have those vertical lines, which was an issue, so I'll probably get around to fixing it, but I just haven't had the time yet to fix it. But it's really comfortable. It's probably the most comfortable Game Boy of all time, in my opinion. It has the battery indicator telling you how long your battery life has left. And then another thing that happens a lot is this actually comes off because it was glued down to your screen. So just got to get around to gluing it. It's not that big of an issue. And then of course it took 4 AA batteries, and then your cartridge slot right there. So that's how it would look with the game in. So really cool. Then you got your Tetris manual inside. Really cool manual. It shows you the controls and how to play. So really cool manual. Then you got the Game Boy system manual. Tells you everything you need to know, how to set up your Game Boy. If you have any issues, what to do, how to fix them. So really cool. And then also another issue if you're inserting your game pack and it's not reading. And then also the contrast dial. A lot of people don't know, but it does have a contrast dial on it. And sometimes they think it's broken, but you just gotta adjust your contrast depending on your lighting, because this is not backlit. So you have to adjust your contrast. And I think it's really cool. I never mod Game Boys. I know a lot of people do mod their Game Boys, and that is something that's really cool. But for me, just playing it the way it was meant to be played is really cool. It's also part of the struggle because you had to get really good lighting, which made the games even harder than they already were. So it's really nice to go back and play some of the old games on old hardware because you really get taken back to how it was back in the day. Well, I just thought I'd show you guys a comparison between an original Game Boy and a Game Boy Pocket. And it is a lot smaller and it actually fits in your pocket. And it also has a larger screen as well. This one runs on 2 AAA batteries and it lasts about 8 to 10 hours. And it's really comfortable. And it has everything that the Game Boy has, just in a smaller form factor. And I tend to play all my Game Boy games on this, and it's really, really solid. It actually has a bigger screen than the Game Boy Color. And this Game Boy Color is actually sealed as well. So I will not be opening this. There's also the Game Boy Light, but that was released only in Japan, and I am still trying to track one of those down for a reasonable price. I know they do go for a lot on eBay, so I'm just hoping to run into one so I can add it to my collection. It's the only Game Boy I am missing, so really nice. And I just thought I'd show you guys what a Game Boy Color box would look like as well. So this is a Game Boy Color exclusive game. So you can also know from the back it says only for Game Boy Color. And later on they would add Advance, because Advance did play color games. But a Game Boy Color game that would work on a Game Boy on the back would say compatible with Game Boy. Pretty long, but I just really just wanted to showcase everything that the Game Boy has to offer. And it's still kicking butt in my opinion 30 years later, and I still play it every day, and I'll still continue to play it every day. So just thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys want to see more content on Game Boy, let me know down in the comments down below. I can showcase my Game Boy collection, the different variants that I have. I can showcase my box Game Boy collection, my loose cartridge collection, whatever you guys want to see. Just let me know down in the comments below. And remember, until next time, see you next time.